It's a great way to keep people in line and to keep them from wondering, does this God even exist? And if he does, where is he? Like, how dare you? So it is a good way of manipulating people for sure. So well done, you Hebrews. Well done. Well done. Hi, folks. Welcome to Joel Reads Bible. I'm Joel, and I read Bible so that you don't have to. And we are reading Deuteronomy. Nobody actually can pronounce the word. Like, try it right now. Just take a moment out. Try to pronounce that book of the Bible. You end up speaking in tongues. Nobody can say the title of this book ever the way that they did in the ancient times when Anunnaki wandered the world. It is an Anunnaki. Everybody knows that it's an Anunnaki word, Deuteronomy. Our mouths can't make the correct shape for it. Deuteronomy. Like, we can't actually Deuteronomy. Like, it's impossible for us to get there. Deuteronomy. It just can't happen. But we are reading the book. We have to. How could we not? You know what I mean? We have to read the whole entire Bible, all the way from Genesis to Revelation or Revelations. No one knows what that one's called. But we have to read every single chapter, every single verse of every single book, so that we can really have God reveal himself through his word, which hasn't happened yet, even though I've prayed. We are probably getting into some laws that Moses will be recounting that God gave him on Mount Sinai, speaking through fire. We already got a lot of them, but the thing that the ancient Hebrews did really well is that they split up the laws. Now, there is a lot of mistakes that they made, like repeating how to build a tabernacle and then that they build the tabernacle that way. That was horrible. And just all of the laws of Leviticus were garbage, I guess. And so that was a mistake. But the fact that they didn't just do all the laws in one place, and they had numbers where there was a few law chapters, but then a pile of just murderous rage Yahweh chapters, is just kind of nice to split those things up. And even starting the book with Genesis, which had a lot of little stories in it, that's where you get most of your favorite Sunday school stories. So in that way, they've done a pretty good job. But now I fear we may be heading into a bunch more laws. So let's get right into it and stay tuned to the end of the chapter, where I always tell you what I loved about the chapter and what I loathed about the chapter. Deuteronomy chapter number 6. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the ordinances which Yahweh your God commanded to teach you. I think this is still Moses. That you might do them in the land that you go over to possess. That you might fear Yahweh your God, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command you, your son, and your son's sons, all the days of your life, and that your days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, and that you may increase mightily, as Yahweh, the God of your fathers, has promised you, in the land flowing with milk and honey. They end it with something so nice. I like this because this is a little bit more on the nose here in verse 2 when it says, you, your son, and your son's son. Sometimes it says you, your children, and your children's children. But what we do get, especially when we're reading the laws, is that these laws are to men. And I observed this and mentioned it back in Exodus, but I think reiterating it here is a good idea. Whenever it's you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. It's you, Hebrew man, do this. You, Hebrew man, do that. The only people who really have agency and therefore the kind of responsibility to follow any of these laws are Hebrew men. And then when it's a woman shall do this or a woman shall do that, we're going to get the a child who does this will happen to them, a foreigner, a slave, there's all these different categories of people. But when it's you, you shall do this, you shall do that, it is a well-to-do Hebrew man. It's somebody who owns people, has wives, has children, has cattle, has bulls. It's always going to be a man. This kind of makes it on the nose that the people that are going to be following this are you, a man, your son, another man, and your son's son. Men all down the line. Hear, Israel, Yahweh is our God. Yahweh is one. You shall love Yahweh your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. These words which I command you today shall be on your heart, and you shall teach them diligently to your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. You shall bind them for a sign on your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. You shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. This is where we start getting certain language that I don't think we've seen yet. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. This might be the first time we get that iconic verse. We've got fear God. We have, you better love me, and I'll bless those who love me to the 1,000th generation. I think maybe it's 1,000th. And curse those who hate me, to the 3rd generation or whatever. But you shall love Yahweh your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might or strength or what have you. That's solid Bible. Like that's gonna come back on all sorts of Christian posters or what have you. Maybe even a few songs. They shall be for your frontlets between your eyes. I guess the idea is that these laws, these commands that we are going to teach the children, they shall be on a sign on your hand. They should be what you talk about before you go to bed and when you get up in the morning. They should be like right before your eyeballs all day long. Write them on your doorposts of your house. Write them on the fences. For now, give it time, because at a certain point, just forget about them. Yeah, I'm pretty passionate about them right now. I want you to tell your son and them tell their son's sons, and have that go on for hundreds of years, and have literally everyone talking about them all day long, and write them down all over the house like graffiti, but just for a bit. Then eventually just forget about them. At a certain point, just totally forget I even said anything. They were fine for a time. They were the right thing to say for a time. But at a certain point, just please do everything you can to distance yourself from them and totally ignore them entirely. Okay? Do you promise? Now, I think people that pick up on sarcasm or rich, brilliant commentary have noticed that the Bible doesn't say that. And I don't know if it ever will say that. People might interpret things as it saying that. But it seems that this God in Deuteronomy chapter 6 is really, 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 really passionate about these commands. He loves them. He's obsessed with them. He thinks they're great. He's so happy that he gave them to people. He wants the people to be obsessed with them too. I don't know at what point he's just I don't know when that's supposed to happen, but it's really, again, one of these just counterintuitive things about Christian doctrine. It shall be when Yahweh your God brings you into the land which you swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you great and goodly cities which you didn't build, and houses full of good things which you didn't fill, and cisterns dug out which you didn't dig, vineyards and olive trees which you didn't plant, and you shall eat and be full. Then beware lest you forget Yahweh, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You shall fear Yahweh your God, and you shall serve him, and you shall swear by his name, and you shall not go after other gods of the people who are around you. For Yahweh your God among you is a jealous God, lest the anger of Yahweh your God be kindled against you, and he destroy you from off the face of the goddamn earth. It really takes a turn there. He didn't say "God damn," and I don't usually swear, but it just felt right in that moment. I think that might be the Holy Spirit that's still doing his work, a good work in me, inspiring that performance, because it seems like it was so nice. Now, one thing of the so nice part in the goodly cities that they didn't build, which I don't know how many translations use goodly. I'm using the WEB, the World English Bible. Goodly, guys, goodly. What is this, the Trump Bible? Goodly? Come on. Anyway, these goodly cities, they didn't build them. So the question is, who built them? Houses full of good things which you didn't fill. Who filled them? Cisterns dug out which you didn't dig. Who dug them? Vineyards and olive trees you didn't plant. Who planted them? Who did all the work for all of this stuff that you guys just came in and stole? Well, the apologetic is evil people. Like evil people, which is weird to me. When I think of like evil people, I think of Mad Max. I think of the Mad Max films. You know what I mean? They're just like people flying off of cliffs onto spears or something like that, killing each other for a drink of water or something, being brutal and violent and eating other people and living in ditches, and just horrific, monstrous, desperate people being incredibly violent and horrible to each other. But here we have like these goodly cities that are built nicely. Somebody took the time to build a city that's goodly, and filled it with good things. These people knew good things. It wasn't like orcs or Orokai. Everything's greasy and messy and they just eat maggoty other orcs or whatever. Like these are like clean, good, beautiful houses full of good things, with cisterns they dug and vineyards and olive groves, just like everything's lush and beautiful in this city of what? Some of the most horrific, evil people, giants who ate their babies. Like this seems like what? Cognitive dissonance. Like it's like very confusing. How did the evil, monstrous people have such, good, wholesome, decent, productive lives? Aren't those two things at odds with each other somehow? Like, is it just me? But it feels like those two things are at odds. We're just othering them. We're just saying that they're bad because we're good. They're bad by virtue of us being the good ones. They're also good. Like they're also just people who are living and having families and caring about their children and all of those things. That's obviously what it would be. It's fictional, so let's all calm down. It's fine. It never happened. We shouldn't perpetuate these ideas. They are not healthy. You shall not tempt Yahweh your God as you tempted him in Massah. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahweh your God and his testimonies and his statutes which he has commanded you. You shall do that which is right and good in Yahweh's sight, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good lands which Yahweh swore to your fathers, to thrust out all your enemies from before you as Yahweh has spoken. Seems like back in Exodus 17, the Hebrews weren't sure if God was with them or not, or something along those lines. So that is what we're describing as tempting Yahweh. To be fair to the Christians, what they use to say that God won't do things when you ask him. Like you can't just say like, hey, prove to me you exist, God, by revealing yourself to me as I read your word. Even though that's kind of, I think, what we're going to learn somewhere in the book, maybe, unless it's just Christian doctrine that like you have to be in the word for God to reveal himself or whatever. You can't just tempt him and say like, you should be doing this, right? He's not going to do it. That's just not the way it works. And this verse kind of like does drive that point home. So It is a convenient move, though, of course, when God doesn't exist, to set the stage for don't expect him to do things when you ask. Don't try to get him to give you water or food or anything when you're struggling. Don't ask for those types of things, or he'll be very, very mad and will react very poorly. So watch your P's and Q's. It's a great way to keep people in line and to keep them from wondering, does this God even exist? And if he does, where is he? Like, how dare you? So it is a good way of manipulating people for sure. So well done, you Hebrews. Well done. Well done. Then your son asks you in time to come, saying, what do the testimonies, the statutes, and the ordinances which Yahweh your God has commanded you mean? Then you shall tell your son, we were Pharaoh's slaves in Egypt. Yahweh brought us all of Egypt with a mighty hand. And Yahweh showed great and awesome signs and wonders in Egypt on Pharaoh and on all his house before our eyes. And he brought us out from there that he might bring us in to give us the land which he swore to our fathers. Yahweh commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahweh our God for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as we are today. It shall be righteousness to you if we observe and do all these things before Yahweh our God, as he commanded us. So there's a lot of reiterations of the same things, but I think that here they're kind of appealing to something. So sometimes it's do it or I'll kill you, do it because I helped you with the Egypt thing, do it because look at this story where a priest killed someone to stop me from being so angry and killing everyone with a plague, those types of things. But now it's and you're going to have a beautiful family. you're going to have this, beautiful life in homes that you guys don't even deserve, that you guys didn't build, that someone else made, but that God gave you. So when your child comes to you and goes, why do we do all of these laws and ordinances? Why do we give the priests food and pay them? And why do we take care of them and give them a place to live? And why do we stay in line? Well, you tell them that Yahweh saved your skin. Yahweh saved your life. He got you out of slavery. You owe him. And you're going to want to follow him too, or else things are just not going to go well for you. And then tell them some of these stories where Yahweh killed a bunch of people for asking questions. That's a huge problem. And so, watch yourself, kid. An emotional appeal that they're doing in this chapter, exploiting the desire that someone might have to have a family and that kind of thing. That's chapter 6. And what did I love about it? Loved it as a big word, finding the verse, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul. So that's neat to see where that comes from originally. I don't really care for anything else in the chapter. I feel like it's manipulative and obnoxious in the sense that we're going to take these people's land and houses and vineyards and all that. Someone else will have done all the work, but you're going to take it from them and kill them all. Feel good about that. There's a positive upswing for that. I don't think that is very empathetic. And, these people are maybe in a desperate situation. They need a place to stay, but to kind of be so on the nose, right? About we're actually just going to go take and live and enjoy all the things that we did not work for, that somebody else worked for, and we're going to kill them and probably take and assault their wife for the rest of their life, or their virgin daughter or whatever. We'll see that. I'm jumping ahead, but we'll get there. It is gross. It's absolutely horrific if God is involved. Again, I'm so sure that God isn't involved, because if there was a God that was all good and all loving, all those things, and just and all the rest of it, he wouldn't be like, oh, this is a good thing. This is a good thing that we take the things from all these other people and give them just to the people that I arbitrarily chose and liked because I liked their the patriarchs, you know? So yeah, I didn't love that. But hey, look, it was a short chapter. That's actually another good thing. So let's mark that down on the one part of it that I love. It was short. Guys, thank you for joining me. Please listen, subscribe. The book can only get either the same or worse or better. It can only do one of those three things, and who knows what it's going to be. Subscribe, leave me a comment on this video to make the algorithm think you're enjoying yourself, and like the video. And we will see you next time. Bye.